the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians, and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
It's one of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
I got Winnie Bucks!
Ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Stoned Appetit. With your host, as always, it's me, Kip Wilson, and to my right, I have Christopher Byard, a.k.a. CB, a.k.a. the Scranton Strangler. How are you today, CB?
We're off-site, so it's always adventurous finding a new location, and we are at a great location today.
That is true, and we'll dive into all of that and more. It's the first time we've left the studio in a couple weeks. I've been holed up like Howard Hughes. That's a joke for Eve. Speaking of which, let's check on the queen bee herself. How are you, Eve? Over there on the ones and twos with a smile ear to ear.
I believe she is referring to, the soundproof room, things of that nature. Okay, the chandelier is a little overkill.
Yeah, what the fuck, Eve? We're not a chandelier people. Well, then why are you working with us?
Yeah, and now you've got an idea of what the soundproofing looks like. I think you can do a hell of a good job at this video.
I would like to see what you could do to make it look a little bit more like this, Eve. That would be really nice if you would, put in a little elbow grease.
The honeycombs are a nice touch, too.
You can put lipstick on a pig, yeah. Well, welcome back to this week's episode of Stoned Appetit, presented by our friends over at Connect for Health Colorado. We would not be here without them, and that's because we would both be in the poorhouse. Chris and I are walking examples of how the open exchange program can work for everybody, whether you're a small business owner, unemployed, between jobs. Maybe you are covered by your employer, but your family is not. They have specialists to navigate no matter the situation, help you through it. Reach out to them. Go to connect4healthco.com and speak with a specialist today, or at least get on their books, because open enrollment only goes until January 15th. You can also reach out to them on social media, C4HCO. That's just like Connect for Health Colorado, isn't it, Eve? Yes, it is. And so we love working with them. They do a lot of great stuff in the community, including cover our ass. So thanks to our sponsors over at Connect for Health Colorado. I promise you do not want to go into 2024 without coverage. Speaking of coverage, I want to talk about what y'all did last week. I forgot to take the garbage out, and a squirrel got into the garbage bag, and so the studio still smells like death. And I'm glad that we're working on studio. Shout out to Ricardo Baca and the team at Grasslands. Not to mention they are the number one PR firm in cannabis in the world. Shout out to you guys for having us in the studio today as our girl Carlo Castro cleans our house. No, this wasn't like an Aunt Bethany situation. Calm down. It was just in the garage. Yeah. Well, it's because they do them on weird days. So like Tuesday or Mondays is our recycling, Tuesdays is our garbage, and everything else in my life is not on that schedule. So like I have to remember to do it, and then the trash is already full because they don't pick it up till Tuesday. And if you have more bags stacked over, they don't take them. So we have bags waiting to go in the can because we overflowed the can because we host too many goddamn parties.
Not to mention, they flip the fucking schedules on a moment's notice.
Oh, yeah.
I still don't fully know our home trash.
That's more of a Chris thing than it is anything else.
I take the trash out, but some days, it's supposed to come on Wednesdays. Some days it doesn't come until Fridays.
We have a great episode for y'all today. We're going to recap the Christmas draft. I think it's going to come down to the wire, but Kip is going to come away victorious. Next time I'll start going a little bit off the wall to build a little bit more drama and conversation instead of just beating y'all's ass, because the scoreboard is starting to look like I'm playing against a bunch of JV kids.
Also, I think there might be some favoritism out there in the audience. just want to see Kip succeed.
God, I wish if that was the case.
Beef between Eve and I think that's where we're going. But I gotta say, I'm in a close second. It's Eve who's really fallen behind on this draft.
Eve, you picked a movie pre-war as your first overall pick. You should have seen that
That's
coming.
not going to resonate with our fan base.
Well, we had a lot of folks that asked about doing a Christmas. I know. It did. And I think that Santa Claus also is a strong one, and you finished really strong with the Muppets. We saw a lot of engagement on that. But, yeah, we'll have to mix it up.
I got to admit one thing. I forgot, Four Christmases is actually really good.
As two children of divorce, I could not relate to it more. I just really couldn't.
I watched it the other night, and I thought to myself, it's actually on something.
Oh, he's like, yeah, I'll leave the P in the V. Is that what you're talking about?
When they had a kid.
Spoilers.
I mean, what does that upset you? That they just found happiness and reconnected with that? It might, though. That's what happened over the course of these 4 Christmases. She realized she wanted more.
That she was what is it? Devoid of something?
Yes.
I don't know what to
so
say.
it was his job to either say, no, I can't do that, or I think you just didn't like the happiness at the end.
I do agree with Eve that it was a weird turn of events, but they kind of planted that bug early in the movie, and then you started to see Vince Vaughn seeing the reflection of that when his dad said the same thing, and you could tell that he didn't want to be like his father when he was like, all families are is LIES, and he uses that line early in the movie when talking with Kevin from The Office, and the officer from Reno 911 that are their colleague friends that are doing miserable Christmas stuff, and they're bragging about their double income, no kids. Shout out to the Dink community. I hope to stay as one of those for the rest of my life. I'd rather buy a second house than have to pay for fucking Montessori school or whatever because we can't use public school systems in America anymore. So, I mean, I understand the early aspects of the Vince Vaughn, Reese Witherspoon relationship more than the end. But you are right, Eve. They did kind of rush that they bunched it in there in the last 2 scenes.
Let's get on to more exciting stuff. Let's hear about Eve's weekend. She should go first. I'll go second.
That sounds good to me. Eve, what'd you get into this weekend? Anything cool that you can brag about to the community? I saw both of those.
Do you do any knickknacks at the Christmas market? Shop small.
What about the Army-Navy store? Grabbing any good cargo pants? I didn't. She's like, someone I was with bought cargo pants from the Army-Navy store. Rhinelander? Oh, fuck. This is awkward. It's okay.
Okay, so anything else besides Christmas market? Saturday was fucking nice.
See, Saturday I enjoyed Friday night the snow was really gorgeous. I also went down to Old Town Arvada, and I posted about it today. The speakeasy that's doing Harry Potter Christmas pop-up. Turns out Harry Potter is kind of a Christmas movie. I mean, it is in the same vein as Die Hard. It's just present during Christmas. It's not actually centered around the plot. Look, don't go British on us. We beat their ass 250 years ago. Yeah. The only thing Boxing Day is good for is watching soccer. But at the same time, the Harry Potter Christmas pop-up at the stockroom, it's a vibe. And she's not lying. There's a big fucking tree down there. Rockefeller doesn't have shit on our little train stop off the downtown drag. Yeah, what'd you get into?
I actually got into quite a bit this weekend.
Give us the deets, El Capitan.
It all started Friday evening, and I'll never forget this too. I sent a text message I think I can grab drinks, but I'm probably out on Cervantes tonight. Well, I went and grabbed drinks. Somebody had some,
Mind-altering substances.
Yes. And so the next thing I know, I take one of those, and obviously I'm into Cervantes. So,
Do you know what?
yeah.
That's a funk band, man.
We went to Denver Central Market for dinner, which was popping. So we grabbed some pizzas, and we went on down to Serves. And you know what? It was pretty damn fun.
That was my first concert to ever see at Cervantes.
Oh, you love the track.
2011, I believe. Shout out to Alden. Dickhead.
So anyways, yeah, so Friday night that turned into just a fun all-around evening out on the town.
What time did you go to sleep?
I would say I Ubered home at 3 a.m.
Nice.
So it was.
I bet that was really cool.
It was, yes. And I got my Uber driver's favorite cereal, which is Captain Crunch. That was like a theme of the night where we somehow got into a discussion about cereals, and we were talking about favorites. What's your favorite cereal?
Yeah, what do you mean?
No, we were talking, and I asked what her favorite cereal was.
I thought you stopped at a grocery store and got it for her. Oh my God. This is why we can't do this podcast in public anymore, Eve.
Anyway, so Friday night was fun. Had a great time out. Jimmy Love was great.
What'd you get into the rest of the weekend? Anything cool?
Saturday I went and checked out a ramen food truck.
Okay, does it slap?
It does slap. It does slap. And you will learn more about that on Food Truck Fridays.
Did you see that your review on the chimichurri breakfast burrito got people making Uis on Colfax this past weekend? I want to give you a shout out. You get the supporting local star of the week. Good job. We need to start keeping track of stars of the week, Eve. Like one of those middle school boards where if you read your words correct, yeah, it's like you get a star. I'll do trash. I'll take out the garbage if y'all will take pictures of your goddamn food. Okay. How about that?
I think we need to start a task board of major tasks that need to happen at the house. And each time somebody completes a task.
Shout out to Carla. She's getting the star for cleaning the garage. Carla Castro Cleaning Service. She's a person that I'm now very good friends with. She was doing our residential, and seeing as the podcast studio is eerily similar to residential, she's now our residential team and our corporate team cleaner.
Nice.
Yeah, so every party, we're bringing in Carla. Awesome.
I will say the highlight of the weekend occurred last minute. Yesterday, Steph and I bought tickets to go see Six, the musical. Are you not into theater and God damn it?
I have no clue either, so why don't you get off her ass and tell the fucking listeners what the fuck you're talking about?
Okay, well, Six, it's one of off-Broadway's at the Denver Center for Performing Arts, and it's a musical, and it won every kind of award this past year. It's about Henry VIII's wives.
Oh, okay.
So yes. So the Six Wives, it is a fucking blast. So it's basically just each wife telling their story through song, but they're having a competition on who suffered the most. And two were beheaded, a couple others died after birth and stuff like that. But the vibe, it was
sounds like Texas.
It was just, there was a band on stage, and then there were the Six Wives, and it was fucking great. So my advice, if you want to go, just wait until the day of
and see what's available.
We got
do the smoking thing where people go in at the break, go in with the smokers.
Oh yeah, maybe this one doesn't have an intermission. This one's straight through. It's probably maybe an hour and 20 minutes. But the energy was great. The vibe was great. Yeah, and when we got in there, we actually got 3 rows back for $80 a piece.
That's not bad at all.
Which, if you want to get, we were looking at them the day before, and they were in the hundreds. And we went in there and got, yeah.
That sounds awesome. Okay. I'm actually doing the symphony with the Elf movie. Remember how I did it with Harry Potter for Morgan Day last year? I'm doing it for Elf this year. I feel like that's an underrated part of Denver's draw is the performing arts. We get all of the hits. What's that one? Hamilton came through, obviously not with Lin-Manuel, but we get all the hits, and then you get people that are doing concerts and doing fun stuff. We need to take more drugs and go hang out in the Performing Arts Center.
100%.
I love it.
I think like there's the play, the musical for Shrek that's coming through in the future and things like that. But I'm gonna go see the Nutcracker. I'm a theater guy. Like I think going and visiting New York, like going to Broadway is fucking fun. And
That sounds neat.
great.
I'm not knocking. I would love to have more of that, not only on the pod, like that insight from you, but also more of that in our lives and learning a little bit more about it, because I don't know enough about it.
I'm not super pumped about the Nutcracker because I've seen that so many times growing up.
His sisters were dancers.
So,
Not like pole, like ballet. Shout out to Martha.
but yeah, so I'd say it was a pretty fun weekend.
You did do well. You missed out on the town hall, which will be a great segue into our guest today. We'll be talking cannabis content. The town hall that we hosted yesterday had a really good fucking turnout of a ton of business owners, people that want to be involved in change. And so you need to come to the next one. The next one's actually this week, Chris, at 12:15 at Explore Glass, just 2 blocks up the road from where we are right this instant. But we missed you on Sunday. It was a kick-ass showing. Shout out to Stephen Wolf and Dwayne for fucking Tetra. Dude, they have so much insight from so many years. And obviously, like other folks, Shannon Donnelly was there. We heard from Patrick Bidding at Ritual, Dave Hadley from Samosa Shop. There were so many people engaging. I can't wait, guys. I think we are going to become activists in so many different ways. This podcast we're blossoming right before Eve's eyes. I'm really excited. But I'm also excited for this afternoon. We have a kick-ass guest joining us, Brittany Hallett, the Slang Worldwide Marketing Director, is going to sit down with us in what we're calling the Hot Box for 10 minutes of unabated dumb questioning, both about cannabis but also about her personal life. We're not going to get too personal, not like Matt Lauer, more like Dan Rather, dinosaurs, hard-hitting history questions. But we've got a doozy of an episode. Before we leave, did we miss anything today, Chris? We rubbed it in her face that she got last in the Christmas draft. We need to talk Christmas tunes next week for the last episode before the holiday. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Eve, do you have anything you want to say? Apologize for your performance last week in the draft?
No, I'm not going to apologize for it.
What was your strategy?
Yeah, because
Coming into it, did you feel like you executed your game plan, or do you think you made a couple of
errant choices.
I thought I was going to play on the nostalgia more. That's why I did A Christmas Story. Because I like that movie, but I don't automatically think of it all the time for Christmas. But I just figured a lot of people were watching that all the time.
So that wasn't one of your favorites? You just put it in there?
You pandered to the audience? Who would do such a thing?
I watched every year for a while. I just haven't watched it as an adult.
So I was about to say, I can tell you where your game plan went wrong, and it's not being honest with yourself.
No, that's where it went right. Because I think because I was honest, I guess people didn't like I said, the
People don't like it.
That's not true, because most of our feedback is like, hey, more Eve. Stepchild syndrome?
Yeah.
At Christmas, I partly took it first because Kip, I swear to God, you said you've seen it and you referenced it, and I thought you were going to take it. It seemed like your deal, so that's why I did it first. Because I thought you were going to take it. I swear you said you've seen it.
I don't think so.
I don't know, in my head, I was like, Kip's going to take this one. But I still put it on my list. It's a great fucking movie. You're welcome. Anyone who's never heard of it, go watch it.
That's fair.
Which they put it in theaters sometimes around Christmas.
Really? Like those theaters and senior homes that they bring in on Wednesday nights and stuff for church and stuff? Fandango. Use MapQuest to make sure you go to the right location. And we're back, y'all. We have our interview of the afternoon. I got CB to my right still, and we have to our left Brittany Hallett, the Vice President of Marketing for oPen and Slang Worldwide, and to her left is Joe Palec, the artist of the most recent renderings for the 510 batteries, and you're going to learn he actually has a lot of the same friends we have in the community. We're in for a doozy of an episode, and this interview is presented by our friends over at Starbuds Dispensary. If you're looking for any products to stock the stuffings or stock stuff the stockings this year. Say that 10 times quick. We don't do things right the first time here. If you're looking for things to stuff the stocking with this holiday season, swing over to the nearest Starbuds. 20-plus locations across the Front Range. You can find products across the whole gamut. Whether you have a smoker in your family, maybe you have someone that's an edible. There is something for everybody in your family. So make sure those stockings are stuffed this season with your favorite goods from Starbucks. All right, y'all. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
You say that now, but you're really not having that much fun. We like to start every podcast the same way, where I give it to Chris and I go have a beer because that was a long ad read.
All right, so we'll kick it off with you, Brittany, if that's okay.
Sure, let's do it.
All right, so first of all, are you a transplant to Colorado?
I've lived here since I was 5, so I think that makes me about as native as it comes.
Well,
But
it doesn't, so we'll move on. No, I'm just kidding.
I come from the wicked east of Maine, though.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
All right, if
Oh,
they were
another
from
Maine.
Mississippi, I would have said the same thing.
We're going to need more time. So first up there, where in Maine?
Right outside Portland, Scarborough. Route 1 by the Mr.
It
Bagel.
checks out.
You know that place well. Okay, so basically, so you grew up in Colorado, and then what got you to this point, and what is slang?
Sure. So I grew up in Colorado, went to the University of Boulder.
Let's go.
Yeah. Cannabis was on the ballot for legalization when I was a junior. I voted for adult use cannabis. When it passed, I celebrated and then quickly said, I would like a job in cannabis. My mom said, I can't believe I just paid for you to go to college for 4 years to go work in weed. So it's kind of right time, right place. Like, I've been in the industry for 10 years. Company started as oPen. We were one of the first vape pen brands in the industry. We're license number 64. So at this point, probably one of the longest running today.
How many of the first 63 are still operating?
Oh, that's a question I can't answer.
No worries.
I'm gonna have to reference check and come back to you.
'Cause that would be cool. It's like last man standing. Yeah,
I
'cause
know.
Some of those
I
were
wonder if
mom
we
and
could
pops
ask
that
the
probably got
state.
bought out
I
or
wonder if we could
something.
ask the state. Yeah, I think there's a lot that have fallen off over the years. Thank you. Kind of right time, right place. Was able to start at the front desk 10 years ago. Had a degree in marketing and have gotten to know a lot of the owners and people who worked here over the last 10 years and worked my way up to now running the department for marketing.
Hell yeah. Way to go. That's really solid seeing the writing on the wall. Be like, oh, not only do I love this plant, but I see there's an opportunity here, like as the industry grows, and get in there. And then here you are 10 years later, you're running the damn show. And we're going to party our bollocks off here this afternoon.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Coming out of college, it was like an opportunity to have a lot of impact, work with a plant that I, enjoy personally. And, when's the last time you had the opportunity to shape a new industry as it's emerging, right? Pretty cool as a college student to get to do that right out of school.
Did you turn to your mom, be like, look at me now, and just mom her up?
Now my mom's like always asking me for weed. All her friends are asking me for weed. So it's come full circle.
As soon as I showed the parentals, honestly, we've been doing the podcast for a couple of years, but my dad came out for the first time to kind of hang out, and I showed him a grow tour. Shout out to our friend Charles Cromer over at Callie's Cannabis. Did the whole grow tour, and my dad was like, oh, so there's money to be made in this. And he saw it like a capitalist. And I was like, well, yeah, there are, but we do it this way. And then he most recently came out, and we were like, look, we got a studio-ish, and like we're alive. And he's like, all right, y'all aren't fucking total idiots.
I didn't know that could work.
I know, right? But you're kind of like you've grown up with the brand, and so you've been able to kind of like shape how it is. So that's really cool that you've been a part of it for so long.
For sure. It's all I know at this point.
Joe, good luck beating that story, but we want to know the same deeds.
His is pretty
Are
good.
you a
His is
transplant
pretty
or a
good.
local? Oh, God, almost just turns out this core thing is a little slippery on the bottom. Are you a transplant or a local to Colorado?
I'm a transplant. I hail from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh, Wookie. Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee. What brought me out here, though, was I went to college, and I went to Whitewater, Wisconsin.
Great D3 sports school, though.
Great. Football was
They were a fucking unit back in the day.
But I hated dorm life. I hated all those aspects. And art school is pretty tough. They beat you down a lot. And you kind of just don't feel like you're going to go anywhere. So I talked to my dad. I'm like, I don't like school, right? And he's like, all right, you have two options. You can continue with school and transfer, or you have to go to Colorado and move in with your mom. And I said, well, fuck yeah, I'm going to Colorado.
That doesn't sound like a threat at all. That sounds awesome.
So I yeah, seriously. So I moved here. My mom is first generation Coloradoan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Second gen right here. So I moved here, got my med card immediately.
Smart man.
Started working at Jimmy John's, and then I worked my way up there. I was working in the industry when I was 20 years old as a sign spinner at Native Roots on 16th Street Mall.
Get the fuck out, really? I remember that place. The one that's underground, that was like, you could go in there at any given time. There's urine on the floor or a condom.
You got to bring people from the above ground to the underground.
It was, I remember, that was, your work was cut out for you at that location, my friend.
Yeah, so I got really good at sign spinning. And then I really wanted to be a bud tender. And they let me move up in Native Roots. I had hop skip to Pink House and Verde.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got a job with oPen. And they've been blessing me ever since for nearly 8 years now.
Geez, so y'all have both been heavily entrenched in the game.
It's a good place to work. We've stuck around.
Yeah. And, Joe, one thing I feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't kind of broach the topic of, we may have done it a little bit in the intro. I don't know if that was when we were recording. We're not all there. But you've also done work, a little bit of side work on the a little hustle with some of the dankest restaurants in town. You've teamed up with our buddy AJ Schaefer, and have done all of the caricatures of The Godfather and all of those things for his insignia for his restaurant. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
I just want to tip my cap, my good friend. I have a knit hat, and I love it. With the little porker on the front, I think you kill it. And so does AJ. But I just want to say, I didn't know that until today. I'm putting it all together. Big fan of yours, without even talking about the collab that we're about to discuss.
I appreciate it.
All right, so let's dive into it. So you obviously are an artist. You were working in the space. You joined the team 8 years ago. Have y'all gotten... Kudos to you on the Illegal Pete's one, too, the cheesy queso, tip of the cap. Y'all have got a lot of inventive ways because y'all have been in the space for a long time, so you do a lot of cool things. You've seen what works and what maybe doesn't work. Let's talk about this most recent collab, whether it be the artistry from the oPen on the batteries to the drops that we have that have gone on throughout the fall and winter to this party that we're missing out on because we're hotboxing in a corner over here. Let's dive into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, I think the long and the short of it is the industry that we work in is a little bit more challenging from a marketing perspective to get the word out. So, partnership has long been, an important piece of what we do, right? Like, how can we find like-minded individuals and companies to help amplify our message and do something cool that feels authentic and fits within the cannabis culture and community and vibes with what people want to do. So some of the most recent things that we've done is, for National Queso Day, which was September 20th, we partnered with Illegal Pete's to do a queso-infused cartridge. It was UK cheese was the strain that we infused, but we called it Illegal Pete's Queso. And on the side of every box was a coupon for free chips and queso at Illegal Pete's. So, a really fun way to, get high and then go get your munchie fix afterwards. And then another partnership that we did with Joe was take his drawings, which are just so intricate and detailed, and I don't even know how he comes up with the designs for them. But for Halloween, we did a haunted feast. So it took some strains that we offer and created this crazy, like, Last Supper haunted feast montage of a design on a battery. So, those are some fun ways that we've recently partnered with local businesses and artists to kind of create a unique and fun marketing message and way to kind of bring our brand to life in a more tangible way.
What's so great, though, is like the partnerships and the involvement with the community. Like, it's out there for the cannabis world to take on. And, like, I don't know, hopefully, like, I think the marketing game will continue to change and, like,
I hope to Christ maybe one day we can actually use social media.
Yeah, right. Without
Wouldn't that
getting
be neat?
shut down or getting your posts taken away.
I don't even know what to knock on right now.
You guys develop these partnerships, and then, like, if you've been doing art on the oPen batteries, like, what kind of space are we working with here? And how the hell?
Chris is asking for a wiener tattoo.
I mean,
Not me.
for a friend. For a friend.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, how? That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't even know the dimensions of it, really.
It's probably like 3.5 inches long by a 1/4 inch wide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 50. So, okay. But, I mean, like, do you guys come up with these partnerships and then you, like, design art for it? Or
so Brittany, so again, I just want to thank Brittany. I want to thank all cannabis companies everywhere. They really do give artists the opportunity to showcase their stuff, more so than any other industry I can think of. So Brittany reached out. She knew my capabilities, and she said, I want you to do our Halloween battery, which combines two of my favorite things, cannabis and Halloween. So I made a little design, a rectangle design, and hoped to God that it was going to fit a battery. And luckily it worked out. I watched a lot of Scooby-Doo. I watched a lot of Addams Family to get inspired, and definitely some cannabis and other performance-enhancing drugs to make this happen.
Shout out to our first half of the episode.
And yeah, luckily what I turned in was perfect for a battery, and I really hope everybody liked it.
Okay, so we've dove a little bit into what y'all have done. Let's talk a little bit about what's on the horizon. And after that, I swear to God, we'll get y'all out here. We'll go party. We'll ask y'all a couple questions and jet. What's on the horizon for oPen? What's on the horizon for Joe? Do we have some cool things that we could be on the lookout for, both on the shelves or on the streets or on the T-shirts?
Yeah, so the event that we're going to do tonight is kind of what's new and hot for oPen right now. It's called the oPen Sesh, and it's a electric dab rig that you can screw a 510 cartridge directly into the base of, and then get absolutely the highest that you've ever been in a long time.
It's the cups, right?
Yeah,
that fill
it's the
from the
cups.
bottom. For
It's
those
the cup,
that may have
yep.
seen them on the Instagram, they just sit there and you can sip on them, and it's just the smoke. And you are right; it does get you absolutely blitzed.
Absolutely blitzed.
Is it like to the point where like you probably should just do that and relax at home, or can you go out and talk to people right after?
It depends on what kind of stoner you are.
So
But the other nice
right outside this door,
other
Chris.
nice piece of it is that you can kind of moderate the dose. So if you press it once, it's going to fill all the way to the top, and that's going to be too much for me personally. But you can press the button once more, and it'll stop. So you can have a sip.
It's like an espresso.
Yeah,
a full blast.
you can either have a sip or you can have a shotgun.
There we go. I like it.
But yeah, that's kind of the newest product that we've launched. And Joe is going to be here doing a live drawing for us tonight, celebrating the number 2 power holiday and the Sesh. So somebody might get a walk away with that tonight if they're lucky, and a Sesh of their own. So that's kind of what's new and hot right now.
Hell yeah.
How are your caricature skills?
If you were to maybe have to make another brand, could you do our 3 faces on the back of a shirt?
I like someone at Elitch's,
I don't want you to make fun. I know my nose is big. I don't need that.
those people, but if you give me some time, I can make something really spectacular for you guys, for sure.
We need a new T-shirt in 2024, and it needs to incorporate Eve so hard. She's new to the team, and we just absolutely love her to bits, and so does the listeners. So
Joe just mentioned Elitch's too, and since this is a food podcast, I think it's important that he tell you about Meal Plan Man.
You're the guy that eats Elitch's all the fucking time. Are you really? I know that fucking page. He eats everything at Elitch's. May it rest in peace. He has a social media page where he eats everything.
Right, yeah. One summer, moving here, I couldn't believe Elitch's was in your guys' backyard. And I'm like, I would be here every day. So I bought a season pass, and just 2 years ago, I bought a season pass, and I saw the meal plan was $75. And I thought about it. If I go 75 times, each meal is $1. So why wouldn't I do that? I went for it. I did 75 meals at Elitch's.
In a row.
Documented on Instagram. Check it out. 15 turkeys. Yeah.
15 turkeys. That shit, it's not even good. It's so dried out. It's just a mallet. It's like, I'm surprised that you didn't see more of those at the January 6th insurrection. Just people whipping them around like it's Disney World. I love it. That's 15 of them. It's like, fucking lunch on Thursdays. I love it.
What's your favorite meal at Elitch's?
Okay, so I met a guy. His name's Nick. He works at Elitch's. I got the inside scoop.
Please give us all of it.
He works at the restaurant called Big Burgers and Beer, and he would make something special for me every time I showed up.
I love you.
Texas brisket burger was by far the best thing I had at Elitch's.
What's on the top of this puppy?
Oh, it's 2 burgers, cheese, bacon, their brisket, and then this doused in green chili and barbecue sauce.
Holy fuck.
It was pretty much the only thing I could finish at Elitch's, but
Really? Huh? Oh, because some stuff was just gross as shit. I was thinking like, yeah, the turkey leg I get, because the thing is literally like the size, it's a weapon. But is the rest of the stuff just kind of meh?
You know, it's all about eating it 75 times. I got so sick of chicken tenders and funnel cakes, I couldn't fathom finishing one. So I would eat a few bites with a gram, and then just throw it away on my way home.
Okay, so that is an unbelievable segue. And so I'd be remiss, before we dive into the personal questions, will y'all give everyone a quick heads up if they want to maybe follow your art or follow your food adventures, follow the company, or maybe just pick Brittany's brain about Maine. How can we find you on social media? Give us the websites where folks can maybe see what's coming down the pike for oPen and things.
Sure. If you want to stay connected with oPen, we're on Instagram at openvape, OPENVAPE. And then the website's just openvape.com.
And then, Joe, for you?
Very easy. Instagram at Joe Palec. And then if you want to see my website, www.joepalec.com.
Hell yeah. All right, y'all. So this is the last question of the night. We went a little long, but I'm glad we did because I needed to talk about Elitch's. It's called the Stoned Up Petite Question of the Week. It's presented by oPen. If y'all have not tried the Seshware, it's wonderful, like Chris said, at the home. But we're going to have fun today and mix and mingle. We're going to get Eve good and torched, and then all ride the elevated train home. But shout out to oPen for the episode today. We appreciate it. So it's the Stoned Up Petite Question of the Week. Chris, to you.
Okay, so we'll start with Joe on this.
The mini corn dogs don't suck, but the ones on the stick where the stick kind of bubbles because of the moisture that's been frozen. Oh my god! Yeah. I think if Eve is ever sick, we need to have Joe just be third chair. You're an amazing human. I just love what you do. Eating at Elitch Gardens, I'm still fascinated. 75 meals in a summer. That's wild. All right, Brittany, you have lofty goals because we're rednecks and love corn dogs. What's your guilty pleasure late night snack?
I got to speak my truth. It's going to be a couple fistfuls of shredded cheese out of the fridge.
Oh, actually, that's not
Directly
crazy.
into the mouth.
No. Welcome back. That's tier 1. That is a tier 1 snack.
Oh, yeah, straight in the microwave.
Okay.
15 seconds.
It's like a parachute that got wet.
Easy and cheesy.
What kind of shredded cheese are you hoping for in the fridge?
The unexpected cheddar from Trader Joe's, but if not, a Mexican blend. Yeah.
Is the one from Trader Joe's the thicker cut?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about that. It always kind of feels like it's, I don't know if it's Trader Joe's, but the Tillamook has that as well.
Yeah, the thick cut. Yeah.
But the small handful where it just kind of falls out all over you, like, I'm a pathetic mess.
You have a little bit down your shirt. Maybe
and you're like, oh, and you find it like in the bed. You're like, where did that come from? Oh, yesterday I had cheese last night.
Those are both really great.
Yeah, y'all just climbed the pantheon. And Eve ranks everybody, so we'll see where y'all are on the rankings next week. But I think those are bang up answers, and they couldn't have hit the nail on the head even harder.
I love that.
Thank you. Well, we like to call ourselves a regular Dan Rather and Barbara Walter. He's Dan, I'm Barb. But we can't thank y'all enough for taking the time to goof off with us. I know y'all about to throw a party, so sitting here in this little cave with us for a little while, I can't tell you how much we appreciate it.
Thank you. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Well, before we get out of here, we want to give a quick shout out one more time to Andre, Ricardo, Debbie, Casey, Molly, the whole team over at Grasslands. Congratulations on winning PR Firm of the Year at the MJs, and thank you so much for letting us hotbox y'all's studio. Until next week, stay high, stay hungry.
I don't know what to say. What should I say?
oPen.
Cheers!